In the United States, you see fewer people concerned about how their data are being used. They talk a lot about our data, but we don't see people's behaviors changing. In the EU, it seems like people are very concerned about their data and how their data are being used. I think the reason for this is because we have more devices and more opportunities for businesses in the United States, and the adoption for all of this technology has been much slower in the EU. Now, the conveniences and the opportunities are so great in the United States that while people might feel concerned, they don't want to stop using all of these different devices. Whereas in the EU, it's taken a much longer time for all of this technology to be used by everyday people. I think they've had a longer time to think about what might happen. I think that's probably the biggest difference between the United States and the EU. Amazon is a much bigger company than I think most people realize. I think in the EU especially, and in Austria, most people think of Amazon as Amazon.com.
A retailer.
Right, a place to buy things. In actuality, that's just one very small piece of the bigger Amazon empire. Amazon has the world's largest cloud computing services. It is currently partnering with a large company to build homes. It is in the healthcare space. It is in the logistics space. It is in the airspace. And soon it will be in outer space. So this is a very, very large company with many different implementations. Intelligence is already here. It just didn't show up the way that we were expecting. So we use artificial intelligence all day long. In fact, you and I right now are using artificial intelligence to have this interview because the camera that is currently taking the images has AI as a piece of what it does. So artificial intelligence is here. The problem is that we've been told amazing stories in movies and in books and in television shows. So when we think about AI, our perceptions are a little wrong. And in fact, AI is not one thing. It's kind of an umbrella term for many different things underneath it. You can think about artificial intelligence as the third era of computing. Not in the future, but that already exists today. So when I was a student, I wanted to become the Solicitor General of the United States. So this is the lawyer who works in our Supreme Court, and that person helps argue what the laws should be for the whole country. That's a strange fantasy job for an 8-year-old.
I think so.
The reason that was so exciting was because I thought the best way to impact the future was to be the person who helped make the laws, the top laws. So I've always been working in some way on the future, but here's what I would say to students and to the parents of students, because I get asked this question all the time. What should we study? What's the best way for a student to prepare for the future? And this is what I would say. You can become a futurist. There are wonderful university programs all around Europe and Scandinavia. One of the best is in Finland at the University of Turku, but there's all kinds of programs. Peter Drucker, who is Austrian, was also a futurist, so you can certainly go to business school, you can study this. You can also think about your own future this way. What are the skills that you can develop now that a computer or a machine will never be able to do? And those kinds of skills are things like critical thinking and strategy and reasoning, and also understanding and relating to other people. So I actually think, as strange as this might sound, that the best thing to study in college, university, would be something like philosophy and world religions and linguistics. These are all good foundations for the future, as well as things like data science and math.